Hi everyone, it is Kimberly with Shopping Hungry, and I was just wanting to jump on real quick and just cover a few topics and discussions that I've noticed so far in social media. So I got some negative comments and connotations from some ladies on Facebook about a comment I had made, which was a political comment, but not meaning to, not to be negative or, to hurt anybody, but I was just explaining that we actually get what we think about most of the time, and our life is a reflection of our thoughts, our belief systems, and how we just show up in the world. And these ladies were, just bashing me and, basically just judging and everything. And there's a lot of racist comments on how, that I didn't know what it was like to be, a black person or walk in a black person's shoes. And I explained to her that, that my background and my culture and heritage is Native American. And I'm not upholding any culture or race or anything. I'm not trying to throw anybody on the under the bus or act like one culture or anything is better than the other, because that's not a such thing. The division that we have is created within ourselves. There's nothing outside of us that can create this division. We either join or we refuse to play the game. And but I was explaining to them, I'm like, you need to quit playing a victim and quit looking at things that happened in the 1700s and realize if you want to make change, the change has to start within you as an individual. And as you really grow and realize who you are, which is the divine, you are an expression of God, then maybe you will see the world a little differently, and hopefully you're able to show others that they can also choose to see the world differently and create a different world. Our world is not meant for us to be arguing and fighting and being at each other and thinking that everybody is trying out after us. I mean, even with this political stuff, this presidential campaign, people are, even with election, people are just really going at it. If you support Trump, you're racist, Biden, he's got, Joe Biden's got, the new lady that, I want to say her name, but I'm afraid I'll mess it up, Kamala Harris. I've just been saying her last name because I don't want to mess up her first name. But him having her, he's a, vice president, running alongside of him, that, obviously is for reasons to get the minority vote, to get the black vote. But it's like, we need to stop focusing on these things of the earth. You have a choice. You can either be in this world or just of this world. I myself choose to be in it, not of it. I'm not trying to be in this, of this world. I'm trying to just be in it. I know that I live here. I know that I'm in this body. I know that I'm having this experience. But I know where I come from. I know where my true home is. I know my true divine nature. And I try to lean towards that as much as possible. As much as possible. So even with that, even this can go along lines as even with relationships. You have people out here that are in search of their soulmates, but they are dating other people. And I had this conversation with my daughter when she said, you could be dating people and still be single. And I'm like, single means one. It does not mean you and another person or several other people. You can be with someone and just sleeping with them or living with them, and you're not single, but you may not be committed. You may not be committed, but you're not single. And that's a serious title. When you tell someone you're single, are you truly single? Have you been by yourself? Have you decided to just take the time to know you? Have you got a relationship with yourself and God, which is what dwells within you? Do you? Do you really know who you are? Do you really know what you want? You're not going to get your equal yoke. You're not going to get your soulmate while you are entertaining the multitudes. I understand that you have to date in order to find the one, but you don't waste time. You don't spend time. You don't invest in someone that you know is not for you. You don't invest in that. I have learned to quickly discern whether or not someone is for me or not. Of course I've got to go on the date. Or in my most recent experience, it never got past one conversation. And I was able to allow God to show me this person, that this person's true self, this person's true intention. And he did this by this man's actions. He showed me. He took the rose-colored glasses off my eyes. I was able to see in conversations that there was a pattern, that we never talked except for when he was in the car or when he was at work. The last conversation we had, I'm like, hey, I'm not much of a texter. Just call me back. If this man was truly single and truly available for me, he would have been like, sure. He could have replied and said, well, I don't know for sure if I can get with you today. My schedule's full and it's going to be late. And but yeah, I'm down for conversations more than just one here and there. And I'm willing to get to know you, and I am willing to make time. And if it's not today, I will definitely talk to you tomorrow. But instead, he said, I have no time for conversations on the phone. I have zero. I was like, really? You have zero time? That's impossible. We all have a minute. A minute. It only takes a minute to just say, hey, how you doing? Just whatever. And also, this person had set up a date with me and canceled, not the day before, but the day of the date. He did let me know, but he texted me. He didn't even call. He sent a message and said, I'm just not going to be available today. He didn't give me any explanation. And I said, okay. He didn't say, what does this day look like for you? He just basically was leaving no opening. So I was able to basically discern that he wasn't going to be available for me. And I went ahead and moved forward with just saying good luck. Because it's obvious that he already has somebody that he's dealing with. He already has a woman, obviously, at home. If he's not answering his phone, and he's calling you when he's in the car driving, or when he's at work, when he's not around his significant other, that's the only time you get, then that's a red flag. But again, that also boils down to knowing thyself, because the old me would have entertained it and probably drug it out too far, got my emotions involved, allowed this person to just treat me any kind of way. So my thoughts and my beliefs and my relationship with God lets me discern quickly with others. And that's also with friends. It just doesn't extend just in the dating area. This also extends with the people that I socialize with. I have learned to only allow people into my life that are keeping their promises, are adding to my life. And if I am around them and I walk away feeling stressed or overwhelmed or uncertain, then I would not be continuing these relationships with these people. They add to my life, and I'm hoping I add to theirs, and we keep promises with each other, and we hold each other accountable for things. And that's exactly what I'm trying to get everybody to realize. That you need to be held accountable for things, be accountable for others, and also quit passing judgment upon it. Don't judge others. People will show you who they are. And just like, I don't know whose quote it was, but Oprah, she said it best when she said, when people show you who they are the first time, believe them. Don't allow yourself to continue to surround yourself by people who continually show you lies, and that's deceiving. They are trying to make you believe them when they are trying, when they're trying to cover up their lies. And if you just be quiet and be still, they will tell their truth, and you could discern whether or not you want to continue with this person or not. And I'm hoping if you're somebody that is having this go on in your life, that you will be able to discern sooner in the relationship rather than later, and you'll be able to get away from it, because who wants to waste their time? I've wasted my time in relationships for many, many years, and it took a lot of growth for me to realize that I'm no longer going to entertain anything that does not feel good to me. And I run everything by God first. I talk to Him and see what He thinks. And social media is like, I'm telling you, it can be a good thing. It can be a blessing, because like right now I'm making this video and I'll be able to share it on social media so other people can see it and other people can learn and other people can get some advice. So I'm not putting down the whole thing, but there's a lot of anger out there. And sometimes you can get yourself caught up, like last night when I was getting caught up in this confrontation with this woman, and my statement had nothing to do with her. She felt offended because I had made a statement about who was running for, Joe Biden, which had nothing to do with anything that I don't understand how come she made it so personal. But just because I had an opinion about him, which was my own opinion, she assumed that I was racist, and she wanted to call me out my name and things like that. And, they say to be careful what you do to others, because the mirror is in front of you. So whatever you're doing to others, you're actually doing to yourself. You're not, being effective. You think you're being effective, but you're not, because everything that you judge another with is what you'll be judged with. You'll be judged the same. You will not get anywhere in life like that. We need to start taking time to realize that a flower's a flower, regardless if it's a rose, if it's a tulip, if it's a let me think of something else. Rose flower, carnation, a sunflower. They're all different flowers, but they're all beautiful, and they all give us joy. Why can't we look at each other like that, like different flowers? Why can't we? What's wrong with that? Why do we keep judging each other and separating ourselves from each other? It's just not healthy. We need to stop looking at what's, if God forbid we was all blind, but if everybody didn't have eyes to see, how would we show up? How would we judge each other if we couldn't physically see one another? How would we be? What if we didn't understand? What if we never knew that there was a such thing as another race or color? What if all you had to go by was what you heard? What if that's all you had? You couldn't, would we separate each other because of our voice, the tone of our voice? Would we say would we think that one of us is better than the other because one laughs differently? How would we judge each other? That's a question. How would we judge each other? We couldn't see. If we didn't even know what color was. It's really funny when you think of it like that. Because people will there's many people out here that really honestly don't like you just because the way you show up, because you ain't their race, because you don't live in their neighborhood, because you don't dress like them, you don't eat the same foods. We have cultures, we have beautiful, wondrous cultures, we have variety, and we don't have to settle for anything, and we don't need to judge each other. If you're trying to find you a soulmate, good for you, but know yourself. You're not gonna if you ask God for a mate, He may not even be the same race as you. Sometimes God has a funny way of getting you like that, You have this idea of what you really want and what you're looking for, and all of a sudden, God says, you know what? I'm going to give you something you don't expect. And it could be the best thing that could ever happen to you. It could be absolutely astounding, absolutely beautiful. So why don't you just be open to that? Be open to love and be open to understanding, and allow God to enter your heart and be your matchmaker. Allow God to be your eyes. Allow God to be your tongue. When you speak, make sure what comes out of your mouth is helping one another. Make sure it's encouraging others, not discouraging. Let's not beat each other up. We all have to live here together. We all have to survive on this planet. And we're not going to get nowhere if we're looking the wrong way. Look to God. Just look to God. He has all the answers. I take everything in my life, I run it through Him. And even last night when I had this confrontation with this woman over something that was absolutely ridiculous, I felt bad after right before I went to sleep, I had to pray about it, because I was thinking, why did I allow that woman to affect me? Why did I allow her? Because she was actually making me think about myself in a negative connotation. She was calling me names. I didn't call her any names. She was telling me that I was racist and everything because I didn't like Biden. I'm like, how does that have anything to do with anything? I didn't make any comments that had anything to do with anything other than his character and how he shows up in this world. We don't need anybody else coming in here and dividing us. We've got enough division as it is. You got one person over here riding over a guy that gets killed. Then you got a little kid that got killed by his neighbor for no reason, a 5-year-old. Don't we have enough negative stuff in this world to see that we shouldn't focus on that stuff? That is distractions. That's the devil. The devil is the true essence of evil, and he does not want to see you happy. He does not want to see you smile. He wants us to fight each other. He likes that we are separated, because once we are separate, we do not unite. We are not one, and we need to become one with God, one with each other, and pay attention, because God will show up for you. He will show up for you, and he will take off those rose-colored glasses. He will make you see truths. He will, and anything in the dark will be revealed in the light. So if you are meeting people or just because that person is a human being, you love them, but you don't have to entertain them. If someone is showing you who they are and you know it's not someone that you would like to have a relationship, then please quit entertaining them. Quit giving them what they want, and that is attention. Negative attention. Make you a list. Write what you want. If that person has not got those qualities, then quit trying to make it work, because in the end you are not going to be happy. I know this is a lot of different conversations. I've talked about relationships. But these are important things that we need to realize and get to know who you are. Go inside yourself, learn who you are. You may not realize that feeling that you have in your heart is God. You may not realize that. You may think it's something else, but it is God. And once you get to know who that is and you get to communicate, you'll be able to maneuver yourself on this planet and in daily life a lot stronger and with abilities to block anything that's not serving you. You'll get to where, you will open up your Facebook and there won't be as much negative connotations because you are not accepting them. You're not going to accept it. I hide if I get on Facebook, I see something that's negative, I hide it, I report it, I delete it. I don't want nothing to do with it. When someone shows up in my inbox or in my life and they are telling me one thing and I'm seeing another, I don't make excuses from them. I remove myself from them because I know they are showing me who they are, and if it's not what I want to deal with, then I'm not gonna continue. It's done. Nip it in the bud. And also realize that the color of your skin and this body that you are inside of, you are not a body with a soul. You are a soul with a body. This body that you chose to use to maneuver yourself around on this earthly 3-dimensional plane is temporary. So be careful how you judge other people, because you may be judged and be in a situation, the same situation as them. And then guess what? You're going to be like, wow. And I've been in that position, so experience. All right, everybody. I hope that you have a beautiful day, and I'm hoping to see people show up and look at my videos and like them and share them And if you have any questions, I'm here. Send me a message. You can email me at mahogany42@gmail.com, and that is mahagony42@gmail.com. Also, you can also message me on Shopping Hungry, which is the YouTube channel, as well as on Facebook under Mahogany Jones. I am here, and I am your girl, and I get a lot of good content, and I'm willing to share it with the world. Peace and love.